morning, Grand County. It's Ryan back with another episode of Good Morning Winter Park. It's a gorgeous day outside, 300 days of sun, and it looks like we have another one. So it's going to be a great show. We've got a lot of great people on the show. We're going to have Ryan, the owner of Mad Adventures Rafting, on the show. Sarah doing some gear tips. Jerry with Trout Unlimited talking about the streams. We're going to have a visit with Casa Mexico and Esteban. Catherine Ross of the Chamber. But first, we're going to be talking with Tim Nicklas, our representative from the Grand County Historical Association, and my arch nemesis. Now, Tim, I'm seeing a gun and a white glove, and I can only assume that you're here to challenge me to a duel.
You know, we could do a duel. I do have two guns if you want to.
So you'd even let me have a gun. I thought this was going to be a one-sided duel.
I'd give you
you had me a little nervous.
Gun. Give you an unloaded gun.
So could you stand up for a minute?
Sure.
So this is what you normally wear in the summer?
Yeah, normally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today? You brought guns and you're looking like you're going to intimidate me here. What's going on?
Okay, so today we're talking Texas Charlie, the Texas Charlie shooting.
Texas is a very big supporter of our state, so it's great to know that we have the Texas Charlie shooter also in our history.
We do, in Hot Sulphur Springs. 1884, he was gunned down.
So this is a long time ago.
A long time ago. But we reenacted every year for Hot Sulphur Days, so that's why...
I forgot to plug that as well. You're also our lone voice promoting Hot Sulphur. I shouldn't say lone voice, but you're our biggest proponent of Hot Sulphur Springs.
Well, of course.
The history is incredible. It's our county seat.
Best fireworks in the county.
We'll have you sit down. I don't need to embarrass you the whole episode, but that made me feel good for a little bit, I guess. So Hot Sulphur Days, Texas Charlie, why are we reenacting this? What's the story?
Well, you know, it's a real Wild West shootout, and in 1884 there was this fella by the name of Texas Charlie.
Real quick before you get into it, I don't want to lecture you, but last time you were bludgeoning a guy's head symbolically on the show. It's a morning show. We got to keep it tame. So what's the story?
So the story is this young guy, Texas Charlie, who's like 20 years old. He comes into Hot Sulphur Springs with the intention of taking over the town, he and his two buddies.
Was he wasn't local. He just came in and decided he was going to plant stake there?
Yeah, pretty much. In 1883, he did that, and and had the decision that he wanted to be some bad character like Billy the Kid, and so he got the moniker of Texas Charlie, and he and his buddies proceeded to terrorize citizens of town.
So this is the old. I mean, this isn't.
This is
obviously it's not modern times. It's 130 years ago.
130 years ago, over 130 years ago.
So intimidation is a pretty big factor.
It was a big factor. So so he starts terrorizing some of the residents, and one of them that was kind of like his person of choice to terrorize. He got fed up and he went over to Calvin Kenny, that's who I'm dressed up as. He was Justice of the Peace. And Calvin Kenny is.
So when you say intimidating, is he stealing hogs or? I mean,
he's shooting at him.
He's actually
in the saloon. Yeah,
trying to kill him or just scaring
him?
him?
Between their legs.
Oh, I got you. So he's just embarrassing him, making him.
So exactly. So as Calvin Kenny's writing out the warrant, Texas Charlie comes in and he rips up the warrant, and then he starts to write out another warrant. And
now, is there any drinking involved when this is going on? Are these guys
I'm sure
drinking?
This was going on in
Arnold Palmer's,
in
in
a saloon. So no Arnold Palmer's. No,
I guess Arnold Palmer wasn't around yet, but that's okay. That's another story. So he's tearing up the warrant.
Yeah, and then he realizes he's making a big mistake and he leaves town. Well, 4 days later, he comes back into town, and as he's walking down the street with his buddies, a shot rings out, and Texas Charlie pulls out his .45, and preparing to defend himself. His buddies take off, and he goes, "It's getting warm around here." Another shot rings out, and he gets hit in the hand. He switches hands.
So his buddies take off.
Yep.
So good buddies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, something like 13, 14 more shots come out of the blue, and he just down. So
holy cow!
Yeah.
I mean, that's Texas Charlie.
That's Texas Charlie.
Now,
but this gets a little more interesting because after that happens, 13 guys come out of the coroner's office.
Real quick, it's 1883.
1884.
1884? What's the population of Hot Sulphur at the time?
Oh, it's around 200.
Okay,
yeah.
And he's been going around shooting between people's legs and taking off the townsfolk.
Yeah,
okay.
And so 13 very prominent people come out of the coroner's office, and the coroner calls an inquest real quick to have an investigation, and he declares that no one can be brought to trial because there are no witnesses among those 13 heavily armed prominent citizens.
And how many times had Charlie been shot?
Oh, about 13 times. Yeah. So, yeah, no witnesses. But in the museum, we have the effects that were taken off of his body, and they're right here in this envelope.
These aren't stained with the same matter that was stained on the last document you pulled off people's bodies.
No stained matter this time.
Okay, so this is just...
This is...
well, I tell you what, while you're getting your gloves on and the paper's out here, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll give you a chance to pull some stuff out, and then we'll run through what you got there.
Absolutely.
Once again, we're chatting with Tim Nicklas and his guns. What do you got here? What is this?
Oh, this is a Confederate Navy Colt revolver.
Okay, so we're chatting with Tim Nicklas and his Confederate Navy Colt revolver.
That's
scaring me,
my .45.
but we're going to take a break. We'll be back shortly.